Morning. I gotta be kind of quiet, but I figured I would hop on and have a little chit chat. Every time I say I'm gonna start chatting more, I never do it. So, not making any promises, but I felt like a chat this morning saying Happy Mercury Direct Day. Mercury is finally direct. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, I could not be happier. You know, I'm always I'm always making a real strong effort every single time there's like any kind of like major retrograde or anything like that to say, okay, well, I'm not going to view this as a negative thing. You know, everybody always wants to view it as a negative thing. Everybody's like, oh no, Mercury's in retrograde. Oh my God, everything's going to be horrible. And I don't like doing that. I always want to try to assign it a positive, something positive that I can get out of it. Man, that can be challenging, dude. That can be extremely challenging. Oh, I'm so glad. This past retrograde has been very wonky and weird. You know, got a couple of you tuned in. Kelly B, good morning. Good morning. Just wanted to have an early morning chat. Everybody's still in bed. Leah's still asleep. The kids are still asleep. But I figured I'd hop on and say hello. Good morning, Marina. Is that how you say it? Good morning. Man, dude. So I know that after each retrograde, it's like there's a post shadow for a couple of weeks, you know? And man, dude, this past retrograde has been, if we could find the words to explain how it just like, what's the word, dude? It's right on the tip of my tongue. It's like everything just kind of plateaus. That's kind of a common way to look at it. That's how most people think of it. But everything just kind of, everything. You just kind of feel stuck and bored. And what we do is we train ourselves for the race. You know, it's like life is a race, you know, and we're after this invisible finish line that doesn't even exist. Or, you know, some people like me who have, and I'm not saying this is disrespect to anybody, so I don't really know any other way to word this, but there's some people who are like, you know, going towards success and goals and stuff like that, and they're like training themselves to climb mountains, you know. So when we hit these plateaus or these stopping periods, it feels like, oh, I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop and rest. I want to keep going, you know. And it's like every Mercury retrograde, it's like you just go, and you stop. And it's like, damn it, man, when's this going to pick back up, you know? When's it going to pick back up? Love the guitar. That's the guitar I got my daughter. She's been begging me for months and months for a guitar. And I'm a musician. This is one thing that a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know because I don't really talk about it a whole lot. That when I was actually my oldest daughter's age, around 9 or 10, when my grandfather handed me my first guitar, and it was actually, the brand of guitar was Aquarius. I thought that was interesting, you know? I was like 9, 10 years old, and he handed me a guitar and taught me this simple little scale, and I sat down and I learned it, and you know, and I could play it pretty good, and he said, wow, I'm gonna start getting you guitar lessons. Do you want guitar lessons? I said, no, I don't wanna play guitar. And then, do you all remember back in the day, back in the 90s, when they used to have Disney Channel concerts, you know? They would have like these kids, these kids who were musicians, and they would put on a concert on Disney Channel. Well, anyway, I would watch these, you know, like Leanne Rimes and whatnot. And then Johnny Lang, dude. I remember when Johnny Lang had his Disney Channel concert, and I saw that, and I thought that was the coolest thing I had ever seen in my life. And I was like, okay, I want to learn how to play guitar now. So he was like my very first inspiration. You know, I wanted to be like Johnny Lang when I was a kid. And anyway, though, so I started taking guitar lessons, and took them for about 5 years, and then quit and started playing in bands and stuff like that up until about my early 20s, where I got my first actual gig. Like I was in a cover band in Louisville, and we would play shows like on the weekends and stuff like that. around in Louisville, and little pizza places and bars and stuff like that, and little amphitheaters and whatnot. And then my now ex-wife came along, and I kind of ditched the whole music thing, and then went on from there. But I just really over the years lost the passion for it. Like I just became not passionate about it anymore at all, And over the last over the period of my 20s, I'll buy a guitar and I'll have it for a while. And then my 20s have been I'm in my 30s now, but my 20s were so unstable. I was constantly moving and bouncing around that I could never really hold on to a guitar for too long. And I was just like, man, I don't even care anymore, And anyway, though, fast forward to now, I got my kids back and whatnot. I never even mentioned it to my to my daughter. I never even said anything, I mean, I'm sure she remembers from back in the day where, when her mom was pregnant with her, I would put the guitar up to her belly and play, So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but anyway, she just started randomly saying, "Daddy, I want a guitar." And I didn't say anything. I'd just be like, "Why is that?" "I just really want to play, And I thought, well, I know how she is. She's an Aquarius with an Aries moon, okay? She has an Aries moon, and that little fireball she has inside of her, she can't really sit still and focus on something for too long. She'll be really super passionate about something and into it, and then change her mind. And then, so I told her, I was like, okay, well, we'll see how long you retain that interest, And she's been consistently asking me for, good Lord, 6-8 months, "Daddy, I want a guitar. Can I please get a guitar?" So finally me and Leah was like, all right, we'll do that for your birthday, And then we just kind of left it at that. And went ahead and picked her, and you can't really see it in the frame here, but there we go. That's mine's the black one, and I got her the wood colored one there. That's a Fender, and I'm teaching her the same scale that my grandfather taught me. So yeah. Anyway, she's getting it. She's getting it. She's just having a hard time. I'm like, Nevaeh, that's her name, Nevaeh. I'm like, pay attention, be slow, make sure you're doing it right, make sure you're hitting each note right. Don't try to do it too fast. And she's still she's got this little I want to do it fast. I want to do it now. And I'm like, no, you gotta proper posture, your fingers in the right position and all that good stuff. And yeah, so that's the next little journey, I guess, teaching my daughter how to play guitar. Yeah, Dylan, that's what I was saying a minute ago. That I know that after the retrograde, we still have 2 weeks of post-shadow. From my experience, though, and this is just my personal experience, it's different for everybody. Personally, for me, it feels like the post-shadow is to me, that doesn't really normally bother me nearly as bad. I mean, knock on wood, it's different every time, but man, this past one was weird. And last night I did not rest well. Oh, I didn't rest well. My body from the gym. Ooh, man, dude. Yesterday, Coach Drew gave me another workout, dude. And I'm gonna tell you what, that man, I don't ever underestimate. Every time I know I'm gonna go with Coach Drew, I know I'm gonna be walking out sore, oh man, that man, it's just phenomenal. See, he trains out of a private gym now. When I very first started with him, we were at a public gym, and here in Henderson. I'm in the Henderson area of Vegas, and it was in a public gym, and there wasn't really a whole lot we could do. So it was a lot of just training in the yoga room, like squats and push-ups and burpees and stuff like that, And now he stepped out. Now he's fully self-employed at a private gym. And I go in there, and from what it looks like, I look around at the other trainers. You can't get into this gym unless you're with one of the personal trainers. And I look around, and it's it doesn't really look like a lot of the trainers are putting some of their clients, through quite what he'll put me through, I mean, it blows my mind how he can take the simplest little movements And, you know, you watch him do it and it looks real easy, you know, like, I can do that. And then I get into it and I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't. You know. So, but he's gotten me on the machines and you know, really totally new muscles that I didn't even know I had in my back, my chest muscles. You know, activating new muscles is a painful process. But anyway, so he put me through another really good workout yesterday. And I just had a real hard time sleeping. I tossed and turned all night and had the weirdest nightmares, dude. And I've been up since like 3 a.m. And I'm just like, well, at least today Mercury is direct, you know? It's direct. I always have issues with YouTube, dude. I always have issues with YouTube. I don't know if this is normal for other YouTubers, but for me, let's see, I've been in the tarot card reading community and YouTube since September 2018. So just a little hair over 2 years, okay? And in the 2 years that I've been doing this, every single time, every time, I get glitches with YouTube. Every time. This past time, what they actually did, and I don't know if I have any maybe YouTube partners who are watching me. I don't know how normal this is for everybody, but for me, my ad settings got deleted, like completely set to default. And I would be a bit concerned, like as to whether or not I got hacked, but now I actually, back in the day, like we set my ad settings and it was default. Like I didn't even have to mess with it, okay? So every time I put up a video, I don't have to touch it, don't have to do anything. My ad settings are just placed the way they are. And they got wiped out and set to default. And my YouTube check started going down. And I'm like, what is going on, you know? Normally there's a very specific dollar amount that it gets to by the end of every single month, you know, give or take a few $100, but it started going down. I'm like, what is going on? So I dug into it and all my ad settings were set to default, you know, wiped them all out. And now not only were they set to default, but I have to actually go in and manually set them after each video, you know? So that happened. Notifications got wiped out. And not just for my viewers, but for me. I stopped getting notified for the channels that I watch. You know, notifications just boop, got turned off. You know, and I'm like, what in the world? So yeah, I don't know, man. Need moderators to ask fans to watch some of the ads. No, we can't do that. I wouldn't do that anyway, but that is against policy. You're not allowed to do that at all. You know, it's very strictly algorithm based, and that is part of the YouTube guidelines. You can't tell people to click on your ads. You can't do that. So that's a big no-no. But I wouldn't do that anyway. But anyway, no, this is just a normal thing. Every single Mercury retrograde is something, you know, something. I'll get people who will write me and they'll say, I haven't seen you on YouTube. I'm like, what are you talking about? You haven't seen me, you know? And then we'll get to digging into it and looking at it, and they'll be like, oh, you got placed at the very end of my list. Normally, you're one of the first ones that pop up. And you got stuck back at the end. And I'm like, every time, Mercury retrograde, you know? And then when I go live, now all that stuff, okay, that's whatever, you know, that can be managed through. But I really don't like it. The part that bothers me the most is when I go live and it's real choppy, and it's choppy and grainy. And then sometimes, there's even been times in the past where in the middle of my live, it'll just shut off. And then I'll try to go live again and I'll be unable to create stream, you know? And it's just, oh man, I'm just so glad all that's over now. Glad it's over. But anyway, also too, aside from all that, I've been, for those of you who may have seen, I've been looking to engage with you guys more, to see, and a lot of you know that this is, if you've been following me for a long time, you know this is kind of outside of my character, kind of outside of what I would normally do, but I've been looking to engage to see what you guys like to see, you know. Now, don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, but like, essentially, when you come to the tarot, what is it that you're looking for? You know, it's been so long since I have been a tarot viewer, you know, shortly, probably within the first, I want to say 6 months. After about the first 6 months of me actually doing this for a living, I stopped watching, for many different reasons. The main reason was the connection that I would always go to the tarot card reading videos to gain clarity on, in this really strange, weird way, is what inspired me to start doing this. And then once I had the realization that, oh wow, that's what that connection was meant for. It was for this. Whoa, okay. Once that light bulb, that Ace of Swords moment hit me, I no longer cared to watch tarot card reading videos to gain clarity on that connection, because I see what it was meant for now. You know what I mean? So it's been so long since I have been a tarot card viewer that I kind of forgot. I forgot what it is that you guys are looking for, you know? So yeah, I really started feeling over the past week or so, you know, I really need to engage with you guys more and see what it is that you're actually looking for, because my number one priority here is bringing value to the table, okay? Bring value to the table. If I can't bring value to the table, then I feel I don't give a damn how many subscribers I have. I don't give a damn how much money I make. I don't care. If I'm not bringing something of value that actually helps, then I consider myself, I don't want to say a failure, but I'm not doing my job. Does that make sense? My real job has nothing to do with money or internet popularity or anything like that. My real job is helping humanity. That's my job, you know? So that's why I've been, last night I put out a poll, a couple of polls or whatever, and some questions to see what it is that you guys really like to see. That's not a guarantee, like I said, that you're gonna hear what you wanna hear, but at least I'm getting a better idea of, you know, okay, well, if you come to, for example, like with, you know, because there's so many readers out there, and it's to the point to where it's so difficult to do anything original. You know, I don't really want to call it imposter syndrome, but I have, like, I really, really dislike it when I find out that I'm doing something that somebody else did. Like, oh, was that last? Yeah, the very first Valentine's Day specials that I did, Love, Lust, and Lost, or Lost, or whatever. I found out that there's other readers that do that, you know. Pissed a few people off too. They thought I was like doing that on purpose. And when I found that out, it pissed me off. I'm like, damn, man. Every time because I sat down with Leah, I said, you know what? I need something different to do. You know, you want to help me brainstorm? And she typed in a Google search of something, and then she found this meme. She found this meme on Google that said, look, love, lust, or loss. And she showed it to me, and I was like, that's an awesome idea, you know? But anyway, so long story short, with it being so difficult to do anything original, what I really want to do is like narrow it down to, okay, I really don't have room to care whether or not it's original, because that's just kind of my ego talking. You know, that's that ego, you know, I want to stand out in the crowd, you know, and that ego-based mechanism could come back to haunt me later, you know, because I could end up straying away from what it is that I'm actually doing. So for example, like for the all signs videos, what is it that you want to hear? Do you want to hear an outcome, or do you want to hear advice on how to create an outcome, or both? What are you looking for? Are you looking for how this person feels about you? Are you looking for most likely actions this person's going to take? You know, Those types of things are the things that I really want to start dialing in, that I really want to kind of start dialing in and paying more attention to what it is that people are looking for, you know? Law of attraction talk. Yeah, see, here's the thing with that, Claudia. The thing with the law of attraction talk is another thing that I really, really get annoyed with is when I hear myself repeating myself over and over and over again, you know? And after a certain point, I think it's somewhat impossible to avoid that. That's kind of, I don't want to say that's just part of the job, but it just seems like it's unavoidable to get to a point to where you're repeating yourself over and over and over again. And it's just in my own head. After a certain point, see, the law of attraction, which I don't even really like that phrase, because it's just kind of, I don't know, I just don't really like that phrase, but for lack of a better phrase, the law of attraction is something that's actually extra super duper simple, you know? It's really, really simple. It's not as complicated as we like to make it. The complicated part is reprogramming yourself. That's the hard part. The hard part is reprogramming yourself and reprogramming your subconscious mind. That's the hard part. The actual techniques are very super easy, very, very easy. But you have to understand that what you're doing is you're not asking this outside source to bring you something. You're reprogramming that part of you that floats underneath your conscious awareness that you're not aware of. You know, these little bitty behavioral nuances that are a product of what you are subconsciously thinking and feeling without even giving it any second thought. You're reprogramming that. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. Everything else that goes around it is so simple. Very, very simple, you know? So I guess I kind of just got tired of repeating myself, you know? I never thought about teaching tarot. Yeah, I've thought about it. But at the end of the day, in order to read, because I can sit and teach you, you know, the cards, what they mean, the textbook version, or, you know, my individual perspective of each card. But the part that I really don't know how to teach is how to communicate with the cards, how to put the intention in there and not overthink it, and apply what cards come out to whatever situation that you're reading. Because, say for example, you ask one question, shuffle the deck, and then Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords, Ace of Swords reverse comes out. Okay, and depending on the question that I ask, that answer you could have those same cards have a completely different meaning, you know? And that's where the tricky part comes in with how to read, you know? Because that's what we're reading. Knowing what the cards mean is only maybe 25% of reading tarot. The rest of it is knowing it's incredibly complex, dude, is knowing how to apply what comes out with the intention you put into it, you know? That as of right now, I'm not 100% sure that can be taught. I'm really not 100% sure, because that is a very strict communication between you and source, and you and your intuition, you know? So that's one of the reasons why I haven't really taught it. But ooh, look, 10 of Cups is at the very, very bottom here. That's a good message there for me to pick this deck up. I'm a Rider-Waite fan. Every deck that I use, I don't care if it's this or even this one. This one is the biggest step outside of the Rider-Waite that I've taken for a while. I don't know why I resonate with this deck so well. This is the Everyday Witch Tarot. And it's a bit different. But I like, people would always ask me back in the day, they would say, okay, so something to the effect of, okay, well, this guidebook says this with this deck, and then this guidebook says something different with this deck. How do you remember all that? I don't do it that way. I read every deck the exact same way. Seven of Swords in this deck means the same thing Seven of Swords means in this deck. You know, Eight of Cups in this deck means the same thing that Eight of Cups means in this deck, even if the artwork looks different, you know? So, I've thought about teaching it. Oh, so I do have something special coming up for you guys on Monday, okay? I don't know how much of it I want to talk about, but I have been working with and communicating with somebody that you guys may know, of, who is an absolutely phenomenal life coach. Absolutely phenomenal, okay? And I'm gonna introduce you guys to her on Monday, okay? She has worked with tarot card readers in the past, and now, you know, I've decided to team up and collaborate with her, and I'm gonna be introducing you guys to her on Monday. And I've been thinking about, because you know, like you see that I've promoted my personal fitness trainer, and this is just kind of the idea. I'm just skipping around, you know, I don't want to say beating around the bush, but I'm kind of skipping around the idea of what I would kind of like to do. And that is I'm going to start promoting people. I'm going to start helping people, you know, maybe get their business off the ground, get their YouTube channel off the ground. The person that I'm about to promote to you now already has a very successful business. Okay, so she doesn't really necessarily need me to promote her, but I'm very, very strict. And if I promote something, I don't just promote something for any kind of gain. You know, that's if I promote a person, you believe that I am honestly promoting something that I determine is the real deal and very, very helpful, you know. So that's one of the avenues that I'm thinking about taking here moving forward, is to promote people, you know. And of course, I'm not just going to say, okay, well, I promote you, you give me some money. No. If somebody comes to me, if I'm presented with a business idea or you know, something like in the spiritual community, I will sit and I'll take a real good look at whatever it is that you have to offer. And if I determine that, man, this could really be of help, you know, people could use this, then I'm gonna, you know, promote. I'm gonna start promoting people, you know. So you always have to figure out a way. I don't care what you do. You always have to figure out a way to give back, you know. Always have to figure out a way to give back, and that can actually be very challenging. That can be very challenging sometimes, you know. But that is one of the keys to manifestation anyway, is giving, okay? You have to give, you have to. It's a universal law, okay? How exactly does it work? I don't know. I can give you my rendition of my perception of how it works, and that is, for example, let's say money. That's one of the biggest things everybody wants to learn how to manifest, and I've said it till my face turns blue. It's not about money. However, that's the easiest thing to explain, is the money frequency and how to attract it and things like that. If we live our life at a vibration and a frequency of needing money, then we are going to keep attracting situations into our life where we need money. So, say for example, you are walking into the store and there's this homeless dude, and he says, "Hey, can you spare some change?" And you think to yourself, "Man, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. No, sorry, I can't." You know? So it's not an outside, like, God or judgmental entity looking at you going, "You asshole, you should have helped that guy." You know, it doesn't really work that way. And this is my perspective. What it is you just vibrationally told the universe, "I can't afford that." See what I'm saying? So by making that decision based on not having enough money, then you just casted that vibration out there, and you're going to attract more situations where you don't have enough money, you know? And when we start training ourselves to give that homeless man some money, or to tip your waiter extra, or donate to that charity, again, a lot of people perceive it like it's this entity outside of you judging you as, oh man, you just did this good thing. Here's a reward. You know, I'm only saying this is my opinion just to leave the doorway open for possibility. I'm very confident that this is how it works. I'm just going to put that on the table. What you're doing is you're reprogramming your baseline vibration to be that of, I'm not worried about money. I can afford that. You need it more than me. I don't need it that bad. So when you start casting the vibrations out there that I'm not worried about money, I don't need money, I can afford that. What do you think, what now? Now once you start setting that as your new paradigm, what do you think the pathway that you're carving out is going to start looking like? You're going to start having doorways open for you and opportunities being made available to you. And things are going to start to shift in your reality that complement the frequency of not needing to worry about money. You see what I'm saying? It makes sense? What's up, Enchanted Cottage? How you doing? How you doing? Don't like giving homeless people money, but we'll go and get them food. Yeah, I feel you on that. I was homeless once. A lot of you know this. And I tell people this in personal readings all the time, that one of the things that I learned when I lived under a bridge, which I did, I lived on the streets for 6 months. And one of the most important lessons that I learned is that homeless people aren't suffering from lack of money. That's not what they're suffering from. They're on the frequency of homelessness. So if you walk up to a homeless person and give them money, you could give a homeless man $10,000. If he's on the frequency of homelessness, that $10,000 is not going to fix his problem. It's going to contribute to his homelessness. He's going to throw a party under the bridge. That's all he's going to do, you know? And when I say these things, I'm not advocating that you don't help homeless people. That's not what I'm saying. Yes, the chance is, I would personally give it, you know, a 98% chance that when you give a homeless man a $20 bill, the first thing he's probably going to do is either go to the dope man or the liquor store. Yes, that's the nature of the beast. Like I said, he's not on the frequency. When a homeless man steps into the frequency of wanting to change his life, the doorway will open for him. You know, the homeless community that I lived in a home, well, most of them are dead now. Most of them are dead now, either dead or in jail. But the homeless community that I lived in at the time, I was the first one of all those people who had been living on the streets for years. I was the first one to say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not doing this no more. And I just got up and started walking. Had no idea where I was going. All I said was, okay, well, I'm going to try to find a homeless shelter or a rehab facility or something. I'm done with this. And I did that and got off the streets, and it was a slow, gradual process of, you know, getting into ended up finally in a little transitionary home that would let you go in, and they would give you 2 weeks to find a job and start paying something towards rent, you know, to transition you back into, you know, society of having a house and a job and paying rent. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I took it upon myself to do that. And that route was available for everybody that was there. I didn't have any special privilege. Nobody handed it to me, you know. I took it upon myself to do that, and I inspired several people to do the same, you know, but not all of them, you know, not all of them. Because once you step onto the frequency, okay, I was on the frequency of homelessness. And then when I stepped onto the frequency of getting my life together and I started taking action towards it, doorways open for me, you know? So anyway, I don't really have a, wish I had another bottle of water. Anyway, I don't really have an end point with that point right there, but anywho, let's see what y'all are talking about here. Yeah, I feel you on that. Let's see here. Brother lived on the streets. Yep, it happens. My dad lived on the streets. It killed him. He just passed away last year. Now my brother's on the streets and he's homeless. My biological brother, my real brother. He's going through it now too. And yeah, it's one of them things, man. One of them things. But, you know, it's all a matter of what frequency you choose to tune into, you know? At the end of the day, a person reaches a point to where you can't help them. You can't. You can't help them. I knew so many people when I was homeless that made lots of money, dude. Lots of money. You know, for a homeless person, I mean, between getting a disability check and standing on the side of the road panhandling, they made more money than most people with jobs. You know, so when somebody's in that mindset and they're on that frequency, you know, after a certain point, there's nothing really you can do for them. Nothing really you can do for them. They have to make the decision, okay, well, I'm going to get myself out of this mess, you know? And it's not easy, but I am living proof that it's possible, especially in the area that I lived in. There was assistance all over the place. You know, people say, oh, I don't have an ID. Okay, well, these people can help you get your ID. They can help you get all your documents together. You know, there was literally where I was. Now, I know it's probably different everywhere you go. But where I was right there in southern Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky area, I was actually homeless in southern Indiana, but I walked across the bridge to Louisville, and that's where I got all the assistance that I needed. There really was no excuses for anybody. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of them that would straight up tell you, I like this lifestyle. I met so many people, dude, who said, I like this lifestyle. I don't have any responsibilities, you know? So it's like, okay, well, cool. You do you then, you know? You do you then. Person can't find the frequencies to pull themselves out. Well, I mean, even if, you know, okay, well, I didn't know anything about any of this at the time. I really didn't. It was shortly after I got into that transitionary homeless shelter place that I discovered the law of attraction when I was right in the middle of all that, you know. I acquired me a free government-issued Obama phone. You remember those? And I was sitting in McDonald's playing on YouTube using their Wi-Fi with my earbuds in, and just searching up different random things like, you know, near-death experiences and stuff like that. And then I stumbled across my first law of attraction video, and it captivated me. Like, I was immediately hooked. I was like, what? What the hell is this? What's law of attraction mean, you know? What in the, what? So I just got addicted to it at that point, you know? And I mean, pretty much the rest is history from there, but yeah. Anyway. Damn, dude, Coach Drew helped you lose 12 pounds? Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. Homeless suffer from abuse and depression. Yeah, I did too. Janine. Yeah, I have a pretty dark story behind me. So I can relate very much. The year before I went homeless, I was institutionalized for a suicide attempt. My second one. My second one. The first one, I actually was revived from death. And the second one, I planned out. You know, I planned it out. And it still didn't work. It still didn't work. So, yeah, I've been, and I suffered childhood abuse as well. Was taken away from my parents when I was like 2, you know, spent the vast majority of my life from, as a kid, and especially as a teenager and in my 20s, addicted to drugs and alcohol and all that good stuff. And I've been in and out of therapist's office and put on every medication known to man. And like I said, I spent I did a couple of stays in mental hospitals, So I can very much relate, very much so. Absolutely. Yep. But yeah, one of the things that isn't mainstream knowledge is that we have the ability to begin to rewrite our neural circuitry with the power of our thoughts. That's one thing that's not mainstream knowledge. It's becoming more widely known now. But once you fully accept the power that you have over your mind, that is destructive to the community of psychiatrics and medications and stuff like that, because we are moving into a time where that's eventually not going to be necessary, if that makes any sense. I'm treading very softly as to what I say, because this is YouTube. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. That's the kind of things I should talk about. Yeah, I do on my chats here. Yes, Dr. Joe. Yes. Okay, you know. You already know. Oh, but yeah, I still do kind of got to tread lightly on the things that I talk about. That's another thing that comes as very stressful in the position that I'm in, is that the only thing I can really do right now is teach you how to open your eyes. Okay, okay, so I am part of the group in the collective that is assisting in the shift that we're in the middle of right now. This year, you're going to see some very amazing things happen. It's going to blow your mind. I can't go into it. I can't talk about it. But in the position that I'm in, the position that I'm in is more of, I'm not one of those people that's going to try to convince you of anything. I can't, there's a lot of people out there that are, whoa, no, this is the truth, and they're trying to shake you awake, and that's not the way I'm going about assisting in the awakening, okay? I'm going about assisting in the awakening by teaching you how to use your eyes, how to perceive, like the true nature of how energy operates, and then it starts this domino effect. Once that first domino hits, it starts this domino effect where you start to perceive everything differently. Everything. Okay? And once it reaches a certain point, I don't need to hold the truth up to your face. Okay? I don't need to. The only way to really stay asleep is if you just reject it, which you have the right to do. You have the right to do that. If you reject the teachings and you refuse to change your perspective and change your mindset, then that's on you. Then you probably either never wake up, or when you wake up, it'll be the hard way. It'll be very shocking, very abrasive, and it might make you sick, okay? But for those of you who are interested in expanding your consciousness, for lack of a better phrase, changing the way you see the world, and you actually begin the process, I don't need to tell you what the truth is. Once your eyes open, you'll see it. You'll see it, you know what I mean? So anyway, look, check this out, y'all. We got my setup here. This is now my official home studio. This is my official home studio. That's where I was. That's where the coffee station is now. Got a little coffee station over here, dude. This is where I was, right here. A cool little background. I decided to leave it up. We put the coffee station. That's the cat's secondary litter box. So we got a little Keurig here. Leah got me this for my birthday. So, and this is upstairs. I got my workout equipment in the corner over there. And here's where I'm sitting. This is piece of crap computer, dude. But it works for now. Bless Leah's heart. She went ahead and got me this computer, and it was just a little cheapo. Nothing special. I just said, I want to quit working on my... Now, the camera, on the other hand, is a nice camera. But the computer is a piece of doo-doo. The B key started messing up on me, you know? So I had to pull the key off because it would, like every time I would hit the space bar, it would type the letter B, you know? So I'm definitely going to be upgrading computers in the future, but I just wanted to transition away from my phone. So this is my work setup here. And it's a little hangout room too. I need to get curtains for these windows. I might go ahead and open up the windows. That's get a nice pretty view of the neighborhood. Oops. Oh. So, yeah, this is now officially my studio, the downstairs office. That's Leah's now with the big computer desk there. So, super excited about this. Having my own, because we didn't know what to do with this room for the longest time, dude. And I've moved up here a couple of times. At first, we shared the office down there. And I didn't like that. I didn't like sharing the office because she's constantly getting up and down and up and down and up and down. And we were like, well, how can we make this to where you're not constantly walking behind me when I'm, doing videos. And I had to turn sideways and sit at the desk sideways, and it was really uncomfortable, And I've come up here a couple of times and just wasn't really feeling it for the longest time. And finally, we got those couches over there, and I said, you know what? I want to really change things up. I want to get off my phone, working on my phone, and get me a webcam and a computer so that my setup is just there, So I don't have to just take my phone and put it on the tripod and get the angle right. And, I don't have to mess with that every time. I just come on here and click, boom, it's all in one spot. The angle of the background stays in one spot. It's fixed on one spot, And, so I'm digging this. Fire signs have to move around. Yeah. No, she's super busy, dude. She is super busy. That woman is like Superwoman, dude. You have no idea. She's kind of reserved and a little bit shy on camera, but man, dude, she's Superwoman, dude. I don't know how she does everything she does. Man. She manages the business, deals with all the emails. She built that, like the system that we have for the personal readings, she built it and she runs it all by herself. I'm like, there's no way I could do that. Oh my God. I see there's other readers out there that, like the Illust Illuminator, she built her own system and she manages all her own shit. And I'm like, man, hats off to you. There's no way I could do that, dude. So, man, dude, Leah is like Superwoman. She does that. She built, and she brings in more money than I do. Oh yeah, she does. And the system that she built and runs that and manages that all by herself. She takes care of the kids. She's like Superwoman, man. So yeah, she's very, very fiery. And yeah, she's up and down and running around and constantly doing stuff. And man, she's got strength that I wish I had, She is lovely. She's a blessing, boy. She's a blessing. She's an absolute blessing. Best thing that ever happened to me, honestly. And my kids. I can't lie. Never thought I would be that blessed. Especially with what I do for a living, dude. Especially with what I do. It's very, very difficult. I found out the hard way. That it's very difficult to, if you're gonna, be especially in the public spotlight or anything like that, to, do what I do for a living and be in a relationship, I learned that the hard way, and I've heard many people talk about how difficult that can be, you know, to find a partner that not only is okay with your lifestyle, but can be a teammate with you, you know? Incredibly blessed, dude. Absolutely blessed. So, yes, definitely. Yeah, behind every man. Yep. Behind every man. Yep, absolutely. You damn Skippy. You damn Skippy. Behind this man is a very, very, very strong woman. Very strong, dude. Like, super strong. I'm envious of her strength a lot, you know? Man, she's got a really strong mind and like willpower that is out of this fucking world, dude. So, yep. I can't take all the credit. Hell no, dude. That's the frequency you're trying to get on, that team relationship. Well, here's the thing about that. This is what I explain about how to get on the frequency of a relationship. And I knew this before Leah came along. I knew this, but I was nervous. I was scared. I was like, because anything you want to get on the frequency of, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's money, a relationship, or whatever it is, you have to find the frequency of already having it. So if you want to match the frequency of that successful relationship, you have to feel like you already have it. Now, what's that feel like? What does that feel like? What it feels like is I don't need a relationship. I have a successful relationship in here. That's what it feels like. Matching that frequency. Anything that we feel like we need, you're not on the frequency of having it, you're on the frequency of needing it. And if you're on the frequency of needing it, you're going to keep experiencing where you need it. So, and again, I knew this. I was nervous. I was really scared. But I assigned myself some alone time. Many of you know, those of you who have been following me for a long time, I jumped into a few different relationships back to back before I was like, whoa, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. I'm done with that, you know? And basically just began modeling my own life around me, myself, and nobody else. So when you form that relationship in your inside world, you form that you get on that frequency of I don't need a relationship because I have one in here, then that is when you get on the frequency to attract that relationship in, just like what I told you about money. Then, like I tell you all this all the time, and in personal readings, I break it down. It's like a 20-minute lecture I'll go on in personal readings, but essentially, let's just put it to you like this. You know how they always say, you must first love yourself? You know, how pissed off people get when they hear that. You know, if you want someone to love you, you must first love yourself. Well, that's not a philosophy. That's not just this cute thing to say. It's frequency equalization. Okay? Most of us are empty. We're empty and alone, and we don't want to be alone. And what that translates vibrationally to the universe is, I don't want to be around me. So I'm proclaiming to the source that I'm not very fun to be around because I don't want to be around me. I don't want to be stuck alone with myself. So if I am vibrationally casting out there to the universe that I'm so horrible to be around, that I don't want to be stuck alone with myself, the universe is not going to send me somebody that wants to be around me. The universe is not going to send me that perfect relationship that I can team up with when I'm telling the universe that I'm not very fucking fun to be around. See what I'm saying? It can be, again, the hard part is reprogramming yourself. The hard part is reprogramming yourself. That's the hard part. Explaining it is easy. But reprogramming, how do I get into that state of mind? How do I allow myself to love myself? I don't love myself. I don't like me. I've been trained and programmed since birth, pretty much. You know, TV, music, in my opinion, is the worst. Movies, to judge my worth based on other people's opinion of me. We've been trained to do that. You know, we've been trained to base our value on other people's perceptions of us. And that's where we're looking for our value, is in whether or not somebody likes me, whether or not this person wants to come love me and treat me right. You know, that's what I'm basing my value on. And I'd be lying to you if I said I never did that. I'd be lying to you. I'd be a straight up liar. My favorite thing that I used to tell myself was, I guess I'm just not good enough. That's that Virgo moon talking, I guess, but I'm just not good enough. This woman doesn't want me, I'm not good enough. That woman doesn't want me, I'm not good enough. I used to tell myself that all day, every day. You think the universe gave a shit? The universe said, all right, Rich, here's some more of that. Here's some more, you're not good enough. You know? Like I said, the hard part is reprogramming yourself. But you know what? Most people, and this is just my own speculation, but I would feel very comfortable contending that most people are afraid to allow themselves to love themselves because they're afraid that if they do, then they're agreeing to just be alone for the rest of their life. Well, if I love myself that much, I'm just agreeing to a lifetime of loneliness. If I just start enjoying being alone, well, I'm just gonna miss out on everything then. It's not the way it works. We think that, you know, that's the way we've been programmed to calculate things, but that's not the way it works. The minute you step into that frequency, you're energetically attractive. Energetically, not sexually, not just romantically, energetically. When you step into that frequency of true love, 9 of cups, not pentacles. Everybody always gets those two confused. Cups, when we step into that 9 of cups frequency of I am emotionally fulfilled, I don't need you to come love me. I don't need you to be my friend. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to agree with me and my opinions and my beliefs. I don't need that. I'm fulfilled. When you step into that frequency, you're energetically attractive. You'll start noticing people are more intrigued by you. People are going out of their way maybe to hold the door open for you. Maybe random strangers will just kind of like walk up to you and engage in conversation, which irritates the shit out of me. I'm getting better at it. But that was always one of my pitfalls back in the day. But yeah, that's the way it works, man. That's the way it works. I'm having to get better at that because now I live in Las Vegas and I have 250,000 followers and I get recognized when I go places. So I'm really having to work on my social skills. I'll tell you what, man, this happened a couple weeks ago. I got recognized by a fan outside of the gas station by my house, and this person asked for a picture. I said, sure. You know, if you approach me, you say, can you have a picture with me? Absolutely, you know. So I took a picture, and then the next day I get an email that said, I used to like watching you every day until I saw a picture of you with my toxic ex. Now that made me sick to my stomach. I'm not watching you anymore, or something like that. And I was like, are you serious, dude? I wrote him back and I said, really? I don't care about your personal life. Anytime somebody approaches me and asks for a picture, I'm going to agree. If you ask for a picture, I would say the same thing. Yes, absolutely. Come on. You know? So I thought that was kind of humorous. But yeah, I'm having to really practice my social skills, you know? Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah. I'm having to work on my social skills. Oh, there was a subscriber of mine who was actually reading tarot cards on the strip, dude, on the Las Vegas strip. It was cool. I don't remember what we were doing. What were we doing? We were at that mall downtown for something. I don't remember what we were doing exactly, but shit, what were we there doing? Anyway, we come walking out of the mall downtown on the strip, and there's this tarot card reading lady. And Leah says, I want to go get a reading. And I was like, okay, all right. So she walked over there and she's talking to the lady. I'm kind of hanging out back here with my kids. And then the tarot card reading lady walked up and she goes, I watch you all the time. And I was like, do you? that's cool, you know. And she goes, will you give me a reading? I said, absolutely. Absolutely. So I sat down and man, she handed me her cards. You know, she goes, I can't believe you're shuffling my cards, dude. This deck, it was one of these. It was one of these, but man, dude, it was 45 years old. She said that was, I don't remember if she said like my grandma's maybe or something like that. And it was 45, and these cards were all like tattered, and I'm like, I'm scared to shuffle these. I'm rough on my cards, you know, but yeah, so I'm working on my social skills. I'm working on it for sure. If you ever see me walking around, most people, like I get comments more than anything. Like people will comment, say, oh my God, I saw you walking around downtown and I was too scared to say hi. And okay, you know, most people won't really approach me because I look mean. Like if you just see me walking, I'll probably have like my normal straight face looks, I've been told this my whole life. My whole life. I look mean, I look angry, I look pissed off. I'm not. If you walk up to me, I'm not gonna be mean to you. Just let me know, you know, who you are, and don't just randomly walk up and you know, try to take a picture of me or something like that without telling me who you are, you know, but I'm working on my social skills. I branched off of that, didn't I? Anyway, anywho, yes, classic rider weight. Yep, my favorite. Maybe you visit someday, you'll run into me. Oh, in Vegas? Maybe. We don't really go downtown very much. We have many times, like on the weekends. We would always try to find something to do downtown, but I don't really like it downtown, man. I mean, it's cool. If you've never been to Vegas, I would definitely say that it's a place worth visiting. It would make a very interesting vacation. But most people who live here don't go downtown. Not really. The only thing there is to do is get drunk and gamble. That's it. There's all kinds of flashy, neat looking buildings, and it's really, really pretty shit to look at. But man, unless you like drinking and gambling, that's about all there is to do. That's it. That's really all there is to do. You know? So, anyway, y'all, it's coming up on about an hour. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap up this chat. Just wanted to engage a little bit more with you guys. I gotta see, first of all, if Leah's up and if the kids are up or anything like that. I'm gonna be completely scratching and redoing my videos. I started with this list of videos last night, the last 30 days of winter, and I just kept feeling this nudge, like, no, stop doing that. Stop, don't do this. But I went all the way Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, and I got them done. And I'm like, man, I cannot shake the feeling to stop doing this. Something is wrong. What is wrong? What do I need to do different? And I just sat there and drove myself nuts for a couple of hours when finally I put that poll up, you know. Got to do something different. So I'm narrowing it down. I'm like, should I do past person, current person, or new person? Or should I just focus on one person, basically? You know, and most of the people voted change it back, focus on one person, you know. So I'm really going to start hammering harder on that now. I just felt it like, no, don't do that. Stop. And I kept going, and I did 3 videos, and I was like, hold up. Let me figure out what the problem is here, because I felt it, dude, intuitively, that something was wrong. And anyway, so I'm going to be starting on a new list of videos today. So anywho, could see this in my face when I did your private reading. What are you talking about? Maureen. Oh, I remember you. I just did one for you the other day, didn't I? Cool. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Coming to me for personal readings and all kind of good stuff. I appreciate it. I still got a couple of them to do today. Oh, I got one due at 1 p.m. and another one due at 3:30 p.m. Okay, so I still got time for that. It's 24 hours from the time that the payment is posted to my account. 24 hours. So I'm within that time frame. I had a bunch of them yesterday. So I had a bunch of them and a bunch of main channel stuff that I had to do. And those are the last 2 that I have to do. And then we'll see if any more come in today. If not, then I'm just going to be hitting the main channel videos. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, y'all. I'll see maybe if Leah wants to chat later. I can't promise anything, but either way, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.